new Marvel out that's supposed to be nuts. We should go see that.
Hello, everyone. They're here for the Next Issue podcast, broadcasting live. Where are we today?
From the bunker.
We are actually on the remains of the space station Romulus, because believe it or not, it is Earth Day. It is Alien Day, not Earth Day.
Alien Earth Day.
Earth Day was, Earth Day was a few days ago, but it is Alien Day. April 26th apparently is Alien Day, which is interesting because last week when we broadcast, it was Simpsons Day. So are there any holidays that are not owned by Disney? Let us know in the chat. Or maybe Earth Day. I don't know. Maybe they already own that too.
They should own Earth Day.
Yeah,
they should own Earth Day. You know where I hope we could have been was because I know you saw. I saw according to your socials, you went and saw Star Wars.
Finally.
I
can't believe how it all turned out.
Yeah, I know. Do you know that Darth Vader guy? That Anakin's gonna go bad.
Whoa! Well, for everyone.
Spoilers.
Just came out.
I did. So I saw that people were cheering when they got to the scene where Anakin goes to off the younglings. I saw a clip where as soon as the lightsaber hits, like all the people in the theater started cheering. I would like to think the three of us were supposed to be watching those younglings, but then we were like, hey, these younglings are Jedis. They're fine. They can take care of themselves. Let's go record the podcast.
Yeah.
And then we just told all the younglings, like, hey, if anybody shows up, especially if it's Anakin, just let him in. It's fine. He's a Jedi. He can be trusted, little ones.
He's the best of us.
He's the best of us. He's a little quirky. He's got a robot arm, but he's a good guy.
Listen, we don't shame people here.
No.
I did want to ask before we get into all this stuff because we got a lot to talk about, including Daredevil Born Again. Now that we have our very own Daredevil back, Clay's back. But because it is Alien Day, I wanted to ask, what is like your most vivid Alien thing memory, like that you're like, oh, I wish I want to go back to that. You guys have any?
Getting to see it for the first time, like anytime you
get
to see
which one? The first one?
The first one.
Is
the first and second one? Really, I really dig those two. I like the third one, but like the copy that I have is supposedly from the restored Blu-ray version, but like Fincher wouldn't return to clean up the third one, so it's just really ugly. But I like the prison one, and I like this latest one. I think this latest one like takes a lot of risk and a lot of swings and connects. I think it's really fun.
Yeah. How about you, Jeff? Did you guys catch any of those in theaters? I don't want to assume.
Cable. I was a kid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. People back in the day would just take the kids to the theater to see whatever.
I think I watched in the theater. From pretty much 3 on, I saw in the theater. I think.
Okay. Wow. Oh, you just got to see that dog full screen, huh?
Yeah, I'm not like I like Alien and I like Aliens. Going past, the last one was good. The Prometheus, they don't really like resonate super with me. So like, okay. I don't remember. I'm like, I know I remember going to see them. I think I saw what's the one? What's the Joss Whedon one? I remember seeing that in a $1
Resurrection.
Movie. Yeah, I saw that at a $1 movie, but they still had $1 movie theaters.
With the that's the basketball one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vaguely, super vague memories on all of it.
Yeah,
hey, that was all practical.
It's really weird when you go like Danny McBride's in an Alien movie, and you just have to think about that for a second and go, oh yeah, those fucking Prometheus movies that had like a solid cast and a terrible story.
I like those, and I do remember watching those in the theater, like Prometheus. I was like, and then I got out of there. I'm like, I don't know what just happened, but that looks cool as shit. And then the other thing
the worst they're the worst scientists ever to explore a new planet.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they go in, taking their mask off, just kind of like touching everything. They're like 5-year-olds on that planet, just getting into shit.
Hey, what's this flower? Let me put my face near it.
Hold on, let me take this off.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, when I watched those in the theater, I still hadn't seen the original one. None of them actually. I think Prometheus was my first Alien movie, actually, now that I think about it. Because I just recently watched all of them with leading up to when they announced Romulus. I was like, I mean, there's no better time than now. So then I watched Alien and Alien Prometheus and Alien Covenant in the theaters, and those were my first movies. So I guess I didn't really have any to compare them to.
Yeah, that's weird.
Whenever anybody asks me like going into Thunderbolts, like do I need to watch all the other Marvel movies? I'm gonna say my friend Danny watched Prometheus without watching any of the Aliens movies. So
I mean, well, that one makes sense though. It's like it's a prequel, right? Both of them are prequels, so like I didn't need to go.
But they don't stand alone.
I'm just saying anything is possible.
I think Covenant stands more alone on its own, just like with the assumption that you know that it's a creature feature, right? Like that's really what you're getting into. Now the whole David thing does get probably very weird. But hey, synthetics are my favorite thing about the Alien franchise. I think every time somebody's revealed to be a synthetic, I love it. Which I feel like Romulus really hit us with that pretty early on.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't think any of the trailers revealed that David. Oh no, what's his name? Oh, jeez, I forget the name of the synthetic in the Romulus. But I don't think the trailers really revealed that he was a synthetic. We found out early on. But my favorite synthetic reveal is probably Winona Ryder in the third one, I think.
Yeah.
Right? In Resurrection. Oh, not Resurrection. Alien 3. Whatever
Alien
that one's
4.
called. Alien 4?
Alien 4 Resurrection. Alien 3 is...
But Winona Ryder's in 3, I think.
She's in the prison one?
Is she not? Yeah. Isn't she? Let us know in the chat. Look, we're not experts in alien
Hold
movies.
on, I'm looking. I'm looking at the Alien in Romulus.
I thought
How
it was.
how have they not had a Alien Power Rangers crossover where they could go with xenomorph
in the comics? Oh, can you imagine if a xenomorph took a ranger like Tommy or something, which would make sense because he's the only one always going kind of bad.
Yeah, just for the pun, xenomorph in time.
That's it.
That's all. I mean, that's everything.
Just pitch that and then work the story backwards from there.
Work the story backwards. That's how every single Netflix show is made.
For sure. How are we gonna market this? Boom, got it.
It's xenomorph in time.
Real quick tangent. There's a new show that they announced called K-pop Demon Hunters, where they literally probably just took what are the two most popular things right now. Well, K-pop's really popular, and everybody loves a demon hunter. So let's just make that like they're not even trying anymore.
No.
Rook is the synthetic based on Ian Holm.
No, not that one. The other synthetic.
The brother.
Andy. His name is Andy. There we go.
Andy.
Oh, Andy. Oh.
Just like in Toy Story.
Exactly. He had a friend named. Oh, you think that's why they call him Andy? No, there's no way. Although Fede Alvarez probably did grow up watching Toy Story.
We never saw the bottom of his shoe, so if he had Andy written on the bottom of his shoe,
for people living in a planet that's been long abandoned in a colony or whatever, like they all had pretty cool kicks and like outfits overall. Like,
yeah.
So
they knew how to. The desolate future knows how to style.
Because it's all like retro stuff because they stopped making new clothes. So
yeah.
All right. Well, that's enough about aliens. Although I am very excited about the upcoming Alien Earth show.
I don't
we need
know
an Alien Alf crossover. That would be fun.
I just don't know if it can hold the attention every week. That's a lot to have in a series.
I trust in Noah Hawley. He knows how to keep my attention. I'm a
That name's a lot, gives it a lot of credit. So yeah, okay.
I'm a Fargo head. For somebody that's never watched the actual movie, but has seen 5 seasons of the show. Go like, can somebody tell me that I'm not a real Fargo fan? That even though I've watched more Fargo than people that have only seen the movie. Come on now. Come on.
But the TV show is so far removed from the movie because it's a different creator completely. So really, you haven't seen a Coen Brothers Fargo.
I'm okay with that. I like some of the Coen. I'm hit or miss on the Coen Brothers. I'm not all in on all their like. I really like their Western thing, but like I think what is it? Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Like I have no interest in that film.
Yeah, it's worth seeing one time. It's good.
Yeah, Fargo's Fargo's one of the ones you should watch though.
Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski, Fargo.
Yeah, I like Lebowski.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I think you probably should watch. I would skip. What was their last one?
Raising Arizona is a great one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but the last one they did about the Hollywood, like that was
Hail Caesar. Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar. Yeah, Hail Caesar's okay.
Yeah, that one looked like not for me. It almost looked like a Wes Anderson film, which also not a big fan of here. I've never seen a Wes Anderson film, so.
Oh, you gotta watch Royal Tenenbaums.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, or Bottle Rocket.
No, I don't think you would like Bottle Rocket. I think you would find Bottle Rocket slow. But
I don't think I would like Royal Tenenbaums either. I'll tell you that right now.
I think you would like Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah. I think Royal Tenenbaums is perfect.
I do like people wearing matching tracksuits. But I don't think they're gonna say "Hey, bro." They're not gonna say "Hey, bro" enough for my liking. So
you just got to think of it like it's a Fast and Furious movie because it is about family.
Then instead, I should watch Riding Cars with Boys.
It's Gene Hackman, dude. It's like primo Gene Hackman.
I saw when I was trying to think of like what to watch when Gene Hackman recently passed, but then I saw The French Connection, and I was like, I feel like this is more up my alley, and I think I made the right choice.
Yeah, but you could find a film from every decade that he rocks in.
Let me watch Hoosiers first, and then I'll try to see if I can fit in Royal Tenenbaums. There's not enough time, Clay. There's not enough time to go back and watch all the old movies. There's new garbage coming out every week.
He's got to watch all those.
There is too much garbage.
He's got to watch. What's the Electric Avenue? What's the dumb Netflix movie? Electric State. You got to watch Electric State 4 more times.
God damn.
I didn't enjoy that one, but people seem to have enjoyed it. So who am I to burst their bubble?
I have not seen one good review of that at all.
Oh really? And you go on Letterboxd. I love Letterboxd because of that. Because everybody's like, you can find any star review that you really need to for a movie for the most for the most part.
I'm sure Netflix has greenlit Carry On 2 already.
Oh, but now it's in a ship like Speed 2. Is it a cruise?
Yeah.
Do they have a what's the
Carry On a boat?
Is there an equivalent for the TSA for boats?
For cruises?
Yeah. Or for the
but
train.
it's just like one of those ones that you like it's like a car trolley kind of thing. It just goes across the harbor.
Is there a TSA for Amtrak? I've never been on a train, so I don't know. Like, how much security do you go through before you get on a train?
Not much. I've been on a train.
Because I can see people I've seen people in the movies just jumping onto the cars, but I don't think that's fully realistic. So I don't know.
I don't think there is any security. Because I've been on a train from like LA to just Northern California. I mean, and that's the one that goes all the way up to Seattle. It's the same train, and there's no like luggage X-ray or anything. You just hop on.
Not to get too perverse with this, but like I guess you can't really hijack a train. I mean, you can, but like it's gonna stay on the tracks.
You can't aim it anywhere.
I mean, I think it's been done in movies over and over again with like Unstoppable and Silver Streak. And
now we're talking. Unstoppable, baby.
Unstoppable.
What a banger.
Spoiler, it is.
That's true.
It is.
Yeah,
it's hard to stop a train.
I love the taglines like, how do you stop the like something the size of a building or something like that?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. But Denzel, if anybody can do it, it's Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get into Denzel's filmography, because I can definitely get into that, we want to do something that we haven't done in a while. Well, I guess first thing, we're going to pay off the thumbnail. Because now that Clay's back, we can finally talk. And now that Clay's back and Josh is in here, which is the combo we were looking for, we can talk about Daredevil Born Again. So we are going to get into spoilers for Daredevil Born Again. If you're watching this on the replay, there'll be time codes in the description, so you can skip ahead if you haven't seen the show. So Clay, we're gonna start with you because I feel like you're the one that has the strongest opinion, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know. I just felt like we want to hear your voice. How did you enjoy the first season of Daredevil Born Again?
A lot of pros, lots of cons.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah, I know, because it's like they had started the series and then they did changes and went back and refilmed some things, and that was to add in Foggy and Karen. And so now it just seems that they're kind of bookending the series with them and just making the stakes higher by killing Foggy in the first episode, but now almost hinting that maybe he's not dead. And it's like, well, then why even put them in the story to fake his death? You know?
I'm with Clay on this. I wasn't as wowed by it as I thought I would be, maybe. I would have blipped them. Like, I would have been like, oh, they got blipped, and now they have like blip trauma, and they've been written out for now, if you knew that. Like, that's the way I would have gone if we had to go back and do reshoots, or like, why are they not in this kind of thing, or something like that. Like, I feel like the show didn't do a great job of using the universe that it's a part of, exactly. Like as much as it could have. It wanted to, but it kind of like kept falling on its face when it was like, it weirdly reminded me of old when before they were afraid to like combine universes and stuff like that, or like they didn't know where they stood, like years and years ago, like when the old school Flash TV show, not the WB one, but the one with the big rubber spacesuit guy, like in that in that first in that first episode, they mentioned Gotham, but they do it in like secret. They're just like, oh, well, we're glad you didn't move to Gotham because that's a scary city with full of evil, like whatever. But they never said Batman or any of the villains or anything like that. It's all just kind of tongue in cheek. And that's what this show felt like. Wink. Yeah, this way, because Wilson Fisk like Spider Guy, like I'm just like, just say Spider-Man, say Spider-Man. You are legally allowed to say Spider-Man, say it. Like,
is he? I don't know. That's a Sony one.
I feel like, I guess that's true. Or I would be like, there's other Kamala Khans out there. Like, we don't want Miss Marvel in our city.
I really thought she was gonna show up at some point. Like, I
did too. After I did enjoy the bank episode.
Oh, episode 5?
Huh?
Episode 5 with interest, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fantastic. I mean, it's Die Hard in the Marvel Universe with Daredevil.
It's such a bottle episode. It makes me wonder if that was a reshoot episode.
I don't think so. They shot, from what I remember, they shot 6 total initially, and you can kind of tell that one was probably one of the ones that remained untouched for the most part, because it all feels the same. It has the same look. Like in the first one, you can kind of tell some scenes that like all the stuff at the bar with Bullseye, that looks way different than the stuff that like. So yeah, and including some of the other show, like I think the trial episode of Hector, I feel like that one's untouched as well, or maybe they added some Wilson Fisk stuff like in the side or something like that. But I feel for the most part that one was untouched. Also with the bank one, which was one of my favorite. I like that one so much that I watched The Town the next day because it was during St. Patty's Day that it was happening. So like I was just like, I want another bank heist in St. Patty's Day, which I know is not St. Patty's Day in the town, but it's in Boston, so like it might as well be St. Patty's.
It might as well be.
Long, right?
But you could have watched The Fugitive, which does take place on St. Patty's Day.
But that's not. Is that a bank movie? That's not a bank movie.
No, that's not a big.
I had also recently watched Inside Men, so I don't want to rewatch that again.
Ooh, that's a great one. God, that's a good movie.
Uh-huh.
I hate that I'm being down on this season, but like Heather's not the best love interest for Matt. I mean, Jesus, he was in like a couple episodes of She-Hulk and they had better chemistry, you know. They've kind of swapped out people for people that like Matt works with now. So instead of having like Foggy and Karen, you know, he has like Cherry and McDuffie, and she's just really trying to run the agents or run the law offices. So she just kind of fills in some story every now and again that they need. You know, I wish they would give her more to do. Huh?
What a terrible partner he is. Oh, like, can you imagine working with that guy and he's never at the office?
Yeah, where he just shows up and he's like bloody and hurt, and he's just like.
I did think it was good that they had episode 5 and 6 drop the same night.
Yeah,
because I feel like if you had just given people the bank, like I like the bank episode.
Oh, I love it. I think it's the best episode.
But it didn't tie into anything with Muse or anything like that. So if you had just given people that one, they're like, oh, what is this show? Like, you know, whatever. But with that one, you get the best of both things, right? Because it wasn't that long, so you get a really cool Matt episode. You get some fun cameos from Kamal's dad, and then you get back to the Muse stuff with episode 6, right before their big confrontation in episode 7. So I wish Muse hadn't died.
Yeah.
Because I like them. I mean, I just like the character. But in the comics, he's also dead, and they brought him back already somehow. So
nobody stays dead forever.
Yeah, that's right. I know it's not as easy to bring people back in these shows unless Elektra shows up with the hand or something. That's how you bring Muse back. With the hand brings it back.
Yeah. He's
but
I think blue sky.
I also really like watching Matt operate during the day as Daredevil, because when he rolls through that window into Heather's office, it's like the middle of the day.
Yeah, that was cool as shit.
Weird.
I wanted more superhero stuff. Like I wanted to see, you know, Hector Ayala in the costume doing something. You know, I wanted to see more Daredevil moments. You know, like I love the theatrics of, you know, the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
But man, sometimes I feel like, you know, if I wanted that, I'd watch like Law and Order or some bullshit. You know, like I want to see a superhero world that they're dealing with, you know, and sometimes it's just stuck in. I want to see a hallway fight. I want to see like, you know, some of that cool ass shit that, you know, they have all the fucking toys in the sandbox to play with. And then when you sit in court for a whole episode and we never even get to see White Tiger in action, that kind of just bums me out, because it's kind of like, you know, oh, this guy is a superhero vigilante. Like we got to see the swordsman for a second in a news clip, but we still haven't got to see the swordsman, you know, like they have these things that like we're here for, but they're like stretching out the story and stretching out the episodes. And I hate to say, just sometimes it's like I just want to see the superhero shit, you know.
Now,
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but like I agree with Clay in that it's not necessarily that I want to see the superhero shit, but the show just didn't quite know exactly what it wanted to be.
Yeah,
is really what it feels like for me.
Because when they did do it, it's Matt and Frank, and those scenes are fucking great. Like those scenes are top notch. But a lot of this whole season felt like, well, we're just going to build to like Frank doing something, or the Frank spinoff, or, you know, everything's kind of built to, are we going to get into Devil's Reign? Are we going to get into gang war? Because they built up the idea of the gang war happening, but kind of have not done anything. I guess they kind of muted it with the execution in the restaurant when the guy tried to kill Fisk. So it's basically shut that down. But then who's running the gangs? Because that was a topic at the beginning of the show, but not at the end of the show.
I mean, it feels like to me like Vanessa's kind of fully in control again, which is kind of cool to see her do doing bad. Like she just had to fill in the role of the Kingpin while he was off, hanging out with Echo and all that stuff, right?
Yes. And Vanessa has stepped up her game. Like everything they write for Vanessa, she executes on such a level that's amazing. When she shoots Adam, I'm like, fuck, she's just fucking hardcore, And at first, when she texts the information about Kingpin at the restaurant, I'm like, did she turn on him or is she inside doing that? Like there's this thought of like, she's gutsy enough that she could execute her husband to just take over.
That's how they flirt.
Yes.
Vanessa is one of the best things about this season. The fact that we had Bullseye and we didn't get to him until like the end. Like we get to see him in the first episode and the last is just such a bummer. Like just such a fucking bummer. Like it would have been better if he escaped in the second episode,
And then there's a looming threat of Bullseye like throughout the whole season, even if he doesn't really show up till the end again. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, because I don't know. I hate that you're in this like Marvel universe, and it's like we're just going to focus on Matt Murdock and not Daredevil. Like his whole thing is he's not going to become him, and it takes 4 episodes before he suits up. And it's just like, and then the fact that Foggy may not be dead. It just seems like this whole season was just kind of written as a precursor for the second season where they want to really get to some shit.
I want to put a pin on that piece of the Foggy stuff. I think Jeff, you have something.
Yeah, I think I just listened to Clay, just kind of going over in my head. I'm like, I feel like I'm more annoyed by this show than I thought I was. I feel like this might be the final piece where like I feel like Kevin Feige checked out for post Endgame, and this might be the final thing where he's like, I wasn't really paying attention, and now going forward we might get back on track Marvel wise. I feel like the creators of the show just did not watch, or maybe when they were creating it, like the stuff that
they were
like
probably
She-Hulk
told
hadn't
like,
come out or whatever,
yeah.
but I feel like they weren't paying attention to like all the cool things they could have done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you have, Kingpin goes away. It's either because he got arrested at the end of the Netflix series or whatever happened at the end of that, or he's out with Echo. I just would have been like, he got blipped. Again, they should have used the blip more to their advantage because you're bringing this property from someplace else and you're seeding it into the Marvel universe, and that blip can give you an advantage of like, this is why you haven't seen these people for whatever, because they were gone for 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's why we had to kind of like reboot him so it would have been cool if Kingpin had got blipped and then Vanessa had to take over, and that's how she got so powerful. And that's why Kingpin comes back and he has to kind of work his way back up, and oh my god, now he's mayor all of a sudden or whatever.
Yeah,
like all these things that could have also it feels like they were like, oh, the Netflix one is hyper violent or whatever, because it's jarring to think that this takes place in the same universe as like Miss Marvel, especially when Kingpin crushes the guy's head. Like, I'm just like, is this a Marvel show? Like, I'm fine with it. I'm not like offended by it or whatever. I'm just like, it's hard for me to reconcile that these are in the same thing, even though it happens in the comics or whatever. I'm just like, it's going to be real weird, like knowing this can happen, but you also want to be able to have that character work with this other stuff that is happening because they all are part of the same universe.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of walk that line of how, you can make it be cool, but that like you could still have him crush somebody's head. You just don't have to show it. Like it's even like, that's an old Spielberg. That's an old movie.
And can you
kind of thing.
Can you imagine if Miss Marvel had to work with the Punisher?
Right? Is that like, ugh! And she's like, are you okay?
I know. First of all, I do want to say like, so we get John Bernthal for 2 episodes, before and after the haircut. Every time he's on screen, I can't wait to go watch The Accountant too, because there's a lot more Bernthal in this one.
Yeah.
But every time he shows up on screen, like it gets so intense, especially in that apartment fight with the police in the last episode.
Oh yeah.
Him just grunting, like growling as he attacks. Like, can he also play Wolverine? Like, he might as well.
You could just hear Tom Holland being like, "Hey man, you need a throat lozenge?" Or something like that.
He's the perfect Frank, and the fact that he like kind of has helped develop this character, because it's said that he's like helped writing some of the dialogue and the standalone Punisher special that's coming out after this, which I think should just be like 60 minutes of violence, because we really didn't get the violence payoff we were promised in this. Like, I felt like we were building to Frank going crazy the way that we're going to see him in the spinoff. You know, everything in this series
people left and right though. He was just like, every time he got it, like he was just like, bam, headshot.
What about this guy? Boom, like, you know, like
I did enjoy that. I did enjoy him kind of just going crazy, and the fact that Matt was trying to protect one guy, and he's like, but you know, hey, what about this guy? Just, you know, would off them. I did love that scene, but for me, Daredevil is like this whole season has been about like him walking the fine line between being Daredevil and being Punisher, because as Frank says, you're just a bad day away from being me.
Yeah.
You know, and so we've had that in mind, and everything has been bad. I mean, Matt has said that, like, the cops are bad, the system's bad, everything's corrupt, you know, and so like I just kind of need to see him snap.
I actually like that he didn't, because he was there, right? He threw Bullseye off the roof, intending to kill him. I'm sure, like, you know, he survived because of its comic book garbage, and I guess he does have that metal spine or whatever they put in him in the Netflix show.
Yeah, I mean, he survived that like spine. Like, he took him and swung him against the pillar in that third season. It just looked like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, so but I'm glad. I actually like that Matt refuses to cross that line and fully go into the Punisher territory, because I don't want to see a show with two Punishers, right?
Yeah.
And you know, Matt has the Catholic guilt all in him. Like, that's all a big part of his character. And I like that. I feel like Matt still has the hope that maybe, almost kind of like Batman, where he maybe one day doesn't have to be Daredevil anymore, and for a while it's been working. He's been able to kind of keep helping as with, you know, as a lawyer.
Yeah.
Which makes it really sad when you have like episodes like the guy that just stole the what was it, the Fatal or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, the system's just out to put these people in this, you know, wreck their lives and not let them out of their hole. And Matt kind of realizes that even though he thinks he's helping, he's not. So I feel like that's when he decides to maybe, I think that night is when he goes back up to the roof to train or whatever. Like, he's doing his Tai Chi up in the roof or whatever.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like we need a little bit more background on why he has all the different outfits. Like, when did when did you use the Shadowland one? Like, when did you use? We know the yellow one, right? But
yeah,
show me a little bit.
Yeah, because you get the feeling that he has. So that was kind of sort of maybe explored in the She-Hulk show.
Yeah.
And at the end of Daredevil, he's like there with Karen. He's all beat up, and he was thinking about taking on the Kingpin. And he's like, "Oh, there's like 60 guys in there," and never once is he like, "Oh, I know a radioactive She-Hulk lawyer, like that could easily wipe out all these people, or I know Luke Cage, or I know Jessica Jones." But he alludes to, he's like, "Well, we've got a bunch of friends. I know a bunch of friends." And at the end of the episode, he just shows up in the bar, and it's just like a bunch of normal people. I'm just like, oh, that's not what I was expecting.
Yeah, but I do like the fact that at least he shows there are some good cops left, because that's the one thing that they do need to show, because they do show this over, you know, like all these cops with the Punisher tattoo and all the shit, you know, on their the bullets, you know, like, yeah, there are bad cops, but you also have to make the argument there are good cops trying to do good things, because
like Angela, right? Like, I feel like she's definitely going to become a bigger part of the story. Now, one thing I also kind of was always in my mind while watching this was that this was originally just supposed to be 18 episodes. So the fact that they decided to restructure into 2 seasons, I was like, well, this is just part. It's almost like when Netflix does drops part 1 and part 2, right, of their
Yeah.
stuff. Like, this is just part 1 of the same season. Like that, I feel like the whole story is all together, and I knew it was gonna end, overall pretty badly for everyone that we care about. So,
I really thought Karen was gonna die. I thought she was gonna be, yeah.
Matt can't take it anymore. If she dies, he's done. But I do want to circle back. Now, Clay, you've mentioned a couple of times that you don't think Foggy's dead, or that they imply that he's not dead. I need more information because I'm pretty sure I watched the same show and I never got that impression. So, fill me in. What
Well, why would you even talk about it in dialogue if it happened in the first episode, he's dead, why would you be questioning it in the last 2 episodes?
Who's questioning it? That's the part I don't.
Matt, when he talked about like they were oh god, what was it?
I know he was questioning about why he was hiding like his strategy or whatever, and because he kind of stumbled into something, but I never took it as like maybe Foggy's not dead. I feel like he's dead.
I agree with Clay. But I feel like mine is because of bias of stuff that I've heard outside of the show.
Yeah, I think that's reading the bias I have as well.
I was reading things into like things that Matt was saying that maybe we're not there necessarily, but
I think we'll see Foggy next season, but I don't know. I think it'll be through flashbacks. I don't think it'll be like he's not dead.
They flash back to the Shadowlands, so you get your story about how he got the suit.
Yeah,
just a bunch of interstitials of just like, Matt, what's the new suit? Like, it's
just gonna be like a real
like one-offs.
Some real Family Guy moments where it's just like a like a random flashback to him wearing different suits.
The Shadowland suit, black armor suit.
Interestingly enough, I think the Shadowland story could kind of, because we know that Matt wasn't blipped, but it would play really well if that's the reason he had to go and take over the hand or whatever, whatever the Shadowland story is.
Yeah.
Because of the blip that threw everything into chaos, and that was the only way I guess he could intervene and help out. That'd be cool. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Just give me a prequel comic that tells me that story in the MCU.
So I feel like this show had a lot of teases that never. So like they killed off White Tiger, and then the niece was like, "I'm gonna do it myself," and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna get little White Tiger like in the comics." Yeah. Well, we never see her again.
Little Tiger.
By Muse, and then she disappears. And I just like, I don't. Where was Echo? Where was like?
I thought Echo. Well, yeah, I guess I feel like we might get some defenders. If not all the defenders, we might get some. He needs some defenders for next season. There's no way.
I bet you he gets Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. They cut out Iron Fist, which really sucks because I really would like to see the return of both of them. Like, because they both have the Iron Fist at the end.
Danny that's right. Colleen. That's right. Colleen and Danny both have it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and Echo, I think it'd be fun to see her come back. Like, she hears Wilson Fisk is doing all this stuff, and maybe she's like, I thought I fixed you, and at the end when I took out the evil or whatever.
I would like to think if they were going to spend as much time as they did with Echo in putting a series together, that they were planning on the character being around for a lot longer, being in a part of a team. I think that the Defenders would be a great fit. Yeah. I mean, we have the opportunity. They could have finished with such a big, like, Daredevil standing in a room of, like, the good police, the good people, and some heroes. Like, just fucking give us, like, even a shadowy image of a character that we know is going to show up. Like, you don't have to have the actor in there,
literally. I just needed a tease. For something to look forward to.
Yeah, it would have been great to see a Tom Holland Spider-Man show up in that room, being like, oh, like he's really going to become a part of New York. He's going to become that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Also, I miss Matt's old apartment. I don't know why that's such a dumb thing to miss, but I loved the layout of his old apartment, the way it was filmed. This apartment feels more confined, and so like the camera's always in tight. So it just seems like a smaller space. Does that make sense?
We might have to move back because His apartment exploded.
Yeah.
That's right.
I miss Ben Affleck's old apartment in Daredevil with the water deprivation tank and
Yes.
how does Matt not even wear earplugs or anything when he goes to sleep?
Yeah.
Especially when Heather stays over. I mean, come on. Even if she doesn't snore very loudly, Matt can hear it.
That's right.
All right. See, any other thoughts on any of this this season of Daredevil? I think we got some pretty good conversation about it.
Yeah, I think if they pull the trigger on what they could do in season 2, it could be fucking massive. It could be unbelievable. If they're going to do the same number of episodes, I want to see crossovers. I want to see gang war. I want to see Devil's Reign, something in there where we have like these teams of just regular street heroes and cops doing good to kind of protect the city, and how do they take down these empowered other gangs that are other cops, and what street villains do we have that we haven't seen? I kind of thought it'd be great if we got to see the leaders of the different gangs in this. Tombstone would have been a great one to show up. Chameleon.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was just thinking. It would be cool if we'd seen some other like more comic booky villains that are like the gang. Yeah,
I mean, we have
yeah.
If you want comic booky villains, they did such a great job with Michael Gandolfini as Daniel. Like his rise to power is amazing.
Yeah, he goes from like meteoric to like real serious, and just like when he confronts BB, like that's like the best turn in his character, because he just goes from a goofball to like, oh, this guy really is learning from the Kingpin. He's learning how to manipulate and use this against them. I think BB's dumb. I think it's really the soundboard on. I don't know who the fuck uses a soundboard while recording shit with their phone out on the streets.
It's for the retro vibe, Clay. It's just all about the vibes. You got to stand out on the. There's so much content out there. You got to stand out somehow.
You could just put a YouTube logo or some bullshit or something on there.
That's probably the first comment she gets on all her videos. Like, what's the sound? What's the clapboard for? Like on every one of her YouTube videos. Like, a matter of fact, we're gonna get a clapboard and we're gonna start using it on the show.
Yeah, I would rather have seen more BB, just as a storyteller from the streets. I loved seeing all the artwork and the murals.
It's really fun to every time he walks by the white painting, the Rabbit in the Snow, I think it's called. But now it's got the blood stain
on it.
From season 3 or whatever.
Yeah, but like when they had the murals of the white tiger, and
those are cool. And I think they were done by David Mack. They are
right. Oh, cool. David Mack did all the murals for the show, and they are amazing.
We saw a few that didn't even show up in the show. Probably maybe either the first iteration of the show or whatever. But during the trailer, there's one with I think maybe Daredevil and Kingpin at the same time that we don't really see that one in the show at all, because I just the shows that I watch that talk about it, like, oh, they were still waiting on this mural to show up. And I think even David Mack on Blue Sky would put like, oh, they're one of my murals showed up today or whatever, but there's more coming. And then by the end we're like, well, I think that was it. So maybe I mean, he probably didn't even know which all were used and which ones weren't.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my question. Name a one street level superhero you'd like to see show up in season 2.
D-Man. He finds an old Daredevil suit.
I love it. This is how we get our introduction to this.
Matt's like,
Wolverine.
Why do you smell like garbage?
Cloak and Dagger.
Oh yeah,
Cloak and Dagger would be fun.
Night
Thrasher. I would do Night Thrasher.
Night Thrasher. Ooh, that's I guess if Frank can't show up, you always got the Night Thrasher.
But
New
with
Warriors.
skateboard Night Thrasher for sure.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
you gotta get around New York.
You want to see the Night Thrasher go from young and old and then violent.
I just wanted to like Daredevil on the street about ready to fight, and then he just kind of grinds up like on a pole. He's like, "I'm here with you, buddy."
Daredevil shoots his stick so that he can grind off of it and make it to through the bridge or whatever.
Marvel, please call us. We were here for you.
The
Stunt
way
coordinators and everything.
the way Punisher calls him Red makes I'm just like, they love each other. I know it.
Yes.
I know it. Just kiss already, boys. Come on.
Put them in a road trip. That's like, I mean, Frank would have to drive, but
I mean that is a love triangle there of Karen, Frank, and Matt. All trying to figure out who wants coffee.
I do think there's a complete opposite show in Daredevil. Like they could do, like when Clay, when you were talking about how you wanted to see like a lot of the lawyer stuff, I think they could go like the Mark Waid Daredevil way with this and pull more of that She-Hulk Daredevil out, where it's like all like courtroom stuff, and then Daredevil has to go investigate, and it's almost like Psych fun, kind of, sort of, like the TV show Psych. I think that there's a Daredevil show like that could be made, but I think the fans would go nuts and burn things down if you tried to make that show.
Yeah. If it was just a lawyer intensive show, then they would be like, you have to out lawyer all the other lawyer shows, and you have superheroes. Come on, just do the superhero show.
Like when everyone freaked out about Javier Pulido's art on the She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? It looks different. Why is she not super hot?
Why is she all bubbly?
Well, I think that's all we have right now for the best avocados at law that we can.
I did like the callback.
Great callback. I mean, I love that from the beginning. And then nice to have that callback again. But yeah, that's all our thoughts for now on Daredevil Born Again. Patiently awaiting that Punisher one shot, and of course the next season of Daredevil.
Have they started filming anything?
I think that Daredevil, I think it's supposed to be out next year. I don't know about the Daredevil. I don't know about the Punisher spinoff. I haven't heard anything about that, but
I do hope Daredevil season 2 is called The Terrible Twos.
Yeah.
If this is Born Again, then 2 should be Terrible Twos.
I'm sure that's why Frank got a haircut, because maybe they were already shooting the other thing. Also, I know this isn't Punisher Born Again, but when he shows up just to like take out on as many cops as he can, oh my goodness! And then at the end, the little end credit scene, which was like, just great. Let's see. One final thought from Leonard Kim. He wants them to give us illegal drama episodes a la Suits LA. I am watching Suits LA. Suits.
I've never watched Suits, but I get commercials for it all the time.
I mean, it is one of the most streamed shows on Netflix. So I guess people are definitely watching it, and I am watching Suits LA because Stephen Amell's in it.
Yeah, that's the ad I get when I go into Peacock. It's like constantly like, just keep watching this because this guy Harvey is coming to LA, and I'm like, who gives a shit?
You know the guy from the other show? I mean,
Suits is a USA show, though, right?
Yeah,
it was a USA show. Yeah.
Characters welcome. Yeah,
characters welcome. All right. Any last thoughts on Daredevil before we move on? We got a lot to cover. All right, great. Perfect.
I'm done with that Daredevil.
Done with Daredevil. I
would like it. Okay, if Punisher escapes the jail at the end of, like he does at the end of the season, he can help break out Night Thrasher, and that's how we get Night Thrasher, who's also been captured.
Who else is in those cages? I want to know.
Who else is in those cages?
Well, the Swordsman.
The Swordsman team up with Punisher.
So now that we're gonna have this Punisher one-off, is that gonna out-violence the violence we've seen in Daredevil? Because the violence in Daredevil seems to be top tier gore. And
what if this is how we bring back Moon Knight? He's kind of a street level hero. He could be Moon Knight and Frank could go punching people all throughout New York.
I need that.
I like that. I like that idea. He could be one of the defenders. Defender of the night, Mr. Knight.
Defender of
all
the
right.
Night Travelers.
Let's keep the train moving. We got a lot of conversation out there though. I didn't think it was gonna be this much, but I'm glad we did. So if you want more, I do have reviews for all 8 episodes, however many there were, 9 in the
27.
channel. You can go check that out. All right, we're gonna get into our previously on segment where we talk about all the stuff we've been watching and reading. And I'd like to go first because I have a public service announcement for anyone. If you are ever in the position that they have re-released one of the original 6 Star Wars movies around your area, do yourself a favor and just go watch it. No matter which movie it is, whether you like it or not.
There are 9 movies, but you just said
no.
6.
That's why I only said the first 6, because the last 3 came out pretty recently in theaters. But I guess there's more. There's Rogue One. Yeah, if you can watch Rogue One again in theater, make sure to watch Rogue One. But
I would watch the first 9. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
20.
6, 7, 8,
10.
9, 10.
There is just something
Solo 11.
Yeah, no, but that's why he's excluding the last one, right? You want to exclude the last one, Joe?
I would also exclude.
You
Solo.
want to exclude
Solo.
yeah.
I don't need Rise of Skywalker or Solo.
Yeah, but there is just something so special about watching that 20th Century Fox logo come in, and the Lucasfilm, and just like watching this on the big screen. So all that to say is that I went to watch Revenge of the Sith last night at the Alamo Drafthouse. It is the anniversary for that film. There's a little introduction by Hayden Christensen. And I just, first of all, I don't even remember. I know I watched this in the theater when it originally came out, but I don't remember that experience because I wasn't a fully formed person probably yet. So what year did it come out? What is this, 20th anniversary? So that was what, 2005 maybe? I mean, I was a teenager, but still, like, even then, you're not a fully formed person. And it's just such a cool, like, I had such a great time watching this movie. This is probably my favorite of the prequels anyway, so that turned out to work out as well. But I think had I watched any of the other 2, like, I think I still would have had just a really good time, because there's just something special about listening to John Williams' score just fill the theater, and those big sequences, and just like all the corny dialogue. Like, it is just so much fun. Such a fun experience. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to go watch any Star Wars, no matter which Star Wars it is, just go check it out in the theater. There's just something there. Those are the types of movies that are really worth to like go on a rewatch. And I don't know, I had a really good time.
Did I read that they are actually going to finally re-release the first 3 movies pre-despecialized, as they were Han shot first?
It'll make them so, like, I would think that'd be something they were thinking about, because it would make them so much money without them having to do anything other than maybe pay for some distribution stuff, right? Because who wouldn't want to go back and rewatch? Look, I didn't watch the original ones in theater, so like if there's an opportunity to go watch them in the theater, I'm gonna take it.
If they were to re-release the despecialized versions in theaters, I mean, we could still clean them up and stuff. But like,
You can't have it both ways.
well, they did a cleanup before they did.
Before George Lucas got into it.
So they still added the Han stepping on Jabba's tail part. That part was still part of the re-release cleanups, but Han was still shooting first at the time. There was no McClunky. There was some other stuff that, like, all the especially in Jedi, the Ewoks were still singing the original song, the Nub Nub song. So all that stuff is in the cleanup re-releases, but it's still like for me, I'm still like, those are still pure enough that they could re-release those and I'd still be okay with it. Because the Han stepping on Jabba's tail was shot at the time. They just didn't have the technology for it.
Right.
So,
Okay. So
that stuff I don't mind.
To your point, 6 days ago, according gross is a Facebook post. Hold on, let me find something else. According to the internet, the original Star Wars movie is scheduled to be re-released in theaters for a special screening in London this summer. It will be the first time the unaltered 77 version will be shown in theater since 1978. So I guess we gotta go to England. Probably
Patreon.
cheaper.
Our Patreon is available so that we may go to London to watch a movie.
Probably cheaper than getting popcorn at any of our local theaters.
Also, we can get some healthcare done while we're over there.
No shit.
Oh, can you take a look at this, mate?
I flew here for a movie and some healthcare. Please check out this Disinfected.
It's still cheaper to fly here for a movie and healthcare than it is to just get healthcare back.
Put me in a back to tank and just let me soak for a few days. But yeah, the movie was great. And if you go to my letterbox, and I know it's crazy, I gave it 5 stars just because of the experience of me watching this in theaters. I previously had the movie rated at 3.5, but it is my favorite of the prequel. So like just all those cool scenes, the battle in Mustafar, and I forget how long the movie is. Like it's almost so 2.5 hours long.
It is a very long movie.
I will say there's only a few places because I was trying to figure out when to go to the restroom. And it took me a while for me to find like an actual downbeat on the movie because this movie's all go, like from the get-go, I did think it was funny. The audience was probably around my age or in that age group. So there's a lot of people that wouldn't make it 2.5 hours without having to step out for some reason.
But the chances, I mean, you guys have seen this movie like 8, 9, 10 times. So like,
I do
10,
wish
a billion.
I wish there was a thing that would tell, like an indicator that would tell you like, this is my first time watching this movie or whatever.
Like a little blip.
Like a little thing like, no spoilers, please. This is my first time watching the movie.
What are you doing, Anakin?
Yeah, no, like this. He's turning heel, like John Cena, like 2025. Fully. All right. Well. That's my thing. I want to wait for Clay to talk about the other thing. So, Jeff, how about we talk?
We talk about WrestleMania quick.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying while we're doing it. I feel like our predictions are. I didn't write any of them down, but I feel like as I was watching, I was like, I think we said that was who I was going to win.
I missed Bianca Belair winning because I had Bianca winning, not Io.
I think I said Io mostly because they had teased her as being the forgotten piece for so long. I was like, she's got to win.
Yeah, but I think that might have been my favorite match of the 2 nights. It was so good.
It was a very good match. It was a kind of an underwhelming WrestleMania, I feel, compared to the last few WrestleManias.
Yeah, part of it is because of the way it's always having to do a lot with the way it fully ends, right? Like what is the last piece to fall into WrestleMania?
Mm-hmm.
And The Rock not showing up, which they never even promised or teased that The Rock would show up. But I'm sorry, Travis Scott, I don't know you. You don't move the needle for me as much as like a wrestler would, or even just Cena winning in a dirty way himself. Like I didn't need the interference. And then Travis Scott took forever to walk to the ring. So
I was completely underwhelmed by I feel like they should have felt that out better because I feel like everybody in the arena thought that John Cena was going to win, which is why there was kind of weird heel pop for him because people were excited that for John Cena, the human was going to get his 17th title.
Yeah.
But as John Cena, the heel, you kind of have to kind of play those lines. I was very nonplussed by how the whole thing turned out. I was just like, whatever.
I will say I had a really good time seeing Dominic win. I think that was a lot of fun. What else? I'm trying to think. I like the street fight, but it's just because I really like those two guys a lot. I popped when Becky Lynch showed up, of course, because she's one of my favorites.
How do you feel about the Heyman turn?
Oh, it's great. I that's what I was thinking was gonna happen. It felt like that's where it should go, because then you leave them both like you can keep the story going, but now now that the Raw has happened, we know that Heyman's building a group. We need a new faction to dominate now that the Judgment Day is kind of breaking apart. So yeah, I liked it. I like that part a lot. I think night 1 ended better than night 2.
Yeah.
And I'm glad Jay won. I think we both call that. And it felt good opening with a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
The New Day should have just happened on Raw, I think. Unfortunately. What else? Oh, what did you think of Randy's opponent?
Just right before he came out, I was like, oh, I bet it's that one guy that everybody liked. Yeah, it was Hendry. Joe Hendry. And I was so happy to see that it was Joe Hendry because
And it was a fun spot to finish the match, right? Because I love when they use the camera tricks. Like obviously in the arena, everybody probably saw Randy sneaking up on him or whatever. But the fact that we as the audience just get to see, like, they frame Joe Hendry, he does the turn, and then boom, RKO. That was a lot of fun.
It's really I feel like Randy is kind of like he's always been kind of a fan favorite, obviously, but now that he's kind of in his twilight years, like I like that he looks like he's having a lot of fun. This whole WrestleMania program fell apart when Kevin Owens went out, so it's good that he got his WrestleMania win while still kind of putting a guy over, and then he gets to pivot to his thing with John Cena, which everybody's really excited about because they have a long storied history together. So, and again, it's kind of a high stakes, low stakes because they've been working together for forever. They're like, they work really well together. It doesn't really matter who wins. It's just you get to see them work together. So
yeah. I mean, I think Cena's gonna hold that for a while.
Yeah, he's gonna hold it till the end. So
cool. Well, Clay, we use this time since you stepped away to talk wrestling.
I figured.
What was the WrestleMania feelings at your house?
Confusion.
Betrayal.
What is WrestleMania? What does it do? Is it good for me?
What's that line from Birdcage where Nathan Lane is talking about after he's pretending to be the mom and he's like, how do I feel? Betrayal, whatever. I don't know. At the very end of the movie. Anyway.
So, all right. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. We're going to keep it on Star Wars. And I don't want to go into too many spoilers because it is hard to, I don't know. Have you guys all, I mean, Clay I know has, but Jeff, you haven't seen Andor?
No, not totally yet. No.
Have you seen any of it at all? Yep,
I've seen the first couple of the first season. I just never finished it. And
okay.
I'm gonna go back to the. I'm way behind.
Okay.
I mean, I know how it ends.
Yeah, but there's some that ride is fun.
You seen Rogue One? Okay.
You seen Star Wars?
Yeah. I've seen all of Daniel. David Bowie. David Bowie. God.
It ends with
my stupid joke.
I was
trying to make an Alamo joke.
Yeah, it ends with Rey being a Palpatine, but then she chooses to be a Skywalker.
Skywalker, right? Exactly.
That's how Andor ends.
Yes, with Rey.
Well, we're gonna non-spoilery talk about the first 3 episodes of Andor, or I guess at least the premiere, which is if you don't know, Andor is the prequel TV show to Rogue One, Star Wars story, best Star Wars movie. Tony Gilroy's still doing all this, and I can't believe it's just a magical show. It's just like, oh, we can have like prestige television within the Star Wars universe. Oh, here we go. Uh-oh.
I really just don't give a shit about a wedding in Star Wars. And the wedding scene and the dancing, I could give 2 shits about.
No. You are So what I love about this show is that it's showing us all different aspects of people involved in the rebellion.
Yes. And I
Obviously,
do appreciate it because I do
yeah.
it does show the rich still live great lives under the Empire rule, even if they're trying to overthrow the Empire. They still are partying and they have great business.
Or they have to keep up appearances because obviously you don't want to tip your hand that you're, part of the rebellion or you're helping out the rebels, right? Which is, I mean, we know who Mon Mothma is, and she's the one that's at the wedding, and it's her daughter being married. I
haven't seen this, but obviously there's a wedding with dignitaries. Do we get older version of Jack Black and Lizzo's characters from the young Leia show? As
No.
they would be aged about 10 years by this point. I
think no, wouldn't they be younger? Because they were in Mandalorian.
Was that
right?
young Leia? Or were they Mandalorian, or were they? I thought they were in the Princess Leia show. I thought they were in Kenobi.
Oh yeah. They were in Kenobi. Wait, they were in Kenobi? No,
were they in Kenobi, or they were? No, they were in the Mandalorian. You're right.
They were in Mando. Yeah.
So they would be younger. We don't, unfortunately.
They would be younger.
No little Lizzo, no little Jack Black.
Good.
Clay's favorite Star Wars character.
I don't need celebrities in my Star Wars.
What if you get a Lizzo, Jack Black, and then what's the blue guy that plays in Jabba's band?
Max Rebo?
And the Max Rebo show.
Can you
Max Rebo, Lizzo, Jack Black.
There's
road trip
show.
I don't need Lizzo or Jack Black. They're not improving a Max Rebo to me.
What about a School of Rock type of show, but it's in Star Wars, and it's Jack Black, Lizzo, and Max Rebo that have to put a band together with the kids, with the Skeleton Crew kids? That's the next season of Skeleton Crew.
How has Disney not hired us at all? We've given them Daredevil and Star Wars.
GPT could never.
My Daredevil idea: more superhero stuff. That's my idea. It's like we don't care about law, superhero stuff.
Chat GPT could never come up with this stuff.
No.
But I think one of the things I appreciate about Andor is visually it looks so good because it's shot like not in the volume. I don't even know if they still use the volume. Maybe Disney finally sold it off for parts or whatever.
The giant screen thing that they were using for backgrounds. I think Nathan Fielder's using it in his second season of The Rehearsal.
Oh, maybe they're just leasing it out for parties and stuff.
Yeah, because he's doing a weird show over on HBO Max.
Yeah.
I love Nathan Fielder's weird shows. They're so good.
I really tried with the Curse and I could not finish it. And I think I'm only one episode away from the end. I just feel like it wasn't going to be satisfying.
I never got to see it because it was on Showtime.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Paramount Plus. Yeah. But back to Andor. Yeah.
The thing I will point out from the first 3 episodes, as opposed to what we got in the first 3 episodes at the beginning, it really wanted to make a statement in the season 1 that like we're Star Wars, but we also like have our own style and look, and so like there were different kind of aesthetics that were being brought into the Star Wars universe that looked really, really cool that I liked. It seems to kind of all blend together now. Like your worlds are so different because like at the wedding you're seeing all the diplomats and stuff, and there's very little tech, but then you're also seeing the farmers, and their whole world is filled with tech. It just is the weird look of like just that whole wedding scene. I guess that just bothers me that like I know they're doing spy shit, but for the first 3 episodes, all they're doing is spy shit. All they keep kind of looking at each other like out of the side of their eye and just going, that thing will happen. Like they allude to everything. Like this season just starts you so deep in the mud that you really need to rewatch season 1 to start season 2, because for a long time I'm like, I don't remember who some of these characters are.
They don't. I will say they don't even give you like a previously on at the beginning of the episode or nothing. They just throw you in the deep, and I appreciate that because let me do the homework. We got
And
two
that's why I've
complaints.
been waiting to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
it'd be a great transition from the last episode into the first episode.
if you need a refresher, though, there is like a 30-minute video on the Disney or Star Wars channel on YouTube to like tell you like the highlights.
Their previously on is a whole episode.
It's a whole thing on it's a whole thing on YouTube on a whole different platform.
And it ends with, and that's what you missed on Andor.
That's right.
Like,
And
super
now
happy.
back to our show.
And now for the continuation of Andor.
Another thing I really like about this show, and I really enjoyed this in season 1, was looking at the Empire day-to-day office, like people that work there. Like, for the most part, they're just working. Like, they're just trying to make their own. Not everyone, obviously. You got some of the people that, like Deidre, and eventually, like Krennic shows up and whatever. But like, obviously, those are out for, those are our villains. But like everyone else, they just kind of work there because that's their job they can get, like, and it's just kind of like a mundane life. They don't know that everything they're doing is to like, quell a rebellion or build a Death Star or to like keep the
they had a
galaxy in
meeting that
chokehold.
I believe the topic could have been genocide of what they're going to do to this planet.
Oh, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like those people, yeah, but like the people
Yeah.
that work in the little office, like Cyril, the people that
Yeah.
he oversees, those are just regular people.
Yeah.
And then
They're the ones
you
that have to take the HR
Yeah,
presentations.
and then you do have the bureaucrats meeting about how to best commit genocide on this planet without drawing too much ire on the galaxy, like how to minimize the blowback of destroying like a complete, system.
Yeah, what exactly is the transition between like the New Republic into the Empire, and do the HR rules stay the same if you're just working, or does the Empire like allow things that the New Republic didn't? We're getting into the minutia of working under different regimes.
There's a weird fun and awfulness to adding minutia, to adding everyday life to like your
I think so too.
fantastical Star Wars, universes.
So yeah, I like it. We're getting at least this season we are seeing like 3 or 4 different levels of the story. Of course, we're following Cassian and his people, right? Bix and Brazos and all the other people. Then you have the Empire stuff with their meetings and their plans and all this stuff. And obviously, trying to follow up on some of the thread lines from last season. And then lastly, you have Mon Mothma and her group, like with Luthen Rao and all those people that are like, we're trying to do what we can, but also we have to keep appearances. We have to do all this undercover. So yeah, I will say this. I took a lot of notes because I was doing the review, so that helped me a lot to make sure that I understood like who all those people were, callbacks, like. So I even looked up the ship from the first episode because it looked familiar, but I don't know Star Wars ships names. Like, if it's not a TIE fighter or an X-wing, like I don't know. The Invisible Hand's the only one I know, and that's because it was a Dooku's ship, right? Which I saw yesterday on the big screen. So yeah, but I love this show so much. Tony Gilroy is such a great creator, and of course Diego Luna is like the perfect character to follow from Rogue One.
Yeah,
so.
Well, you root for him. I mean, like from the jump, like he's a victim of the bureaucracy of what the Empire is and what they are trying to do. So he just gets sucked into the system.
Yeah.
And he just was trying to live his life. And now it's like, well, fuck you. I'll just bring you down.
And he's not a hero. He's always been kind of like this gun for hire. And even
he kills people. Like he kills people in this first 3-episode run.
Yeah. So, all right, great. So that's really, it was a very, like, as far as new stuff, that's all the stuff I watched.
I do have one comment. Yeah, that when Cassian ends up on that planet to meet Porco and Porco doesn't show, like that just seemed like a real, like either we see those characters again, or that just seemed like a big waste of time. Did it?
Well, I like the idea that the rebellion's so fractured that they don't even know like who's all on their side because Cass and then Jeff, you'll forget all this by the time you forget all this by the time you get there because season 1 is dense. So yeah, I think
But the
it's-
Andy Serkis stuff though is so great. Like when you get to that, like that stuff, I wish I could watch again.
I can't believe there was a CGI ape in Star Wars. It's crazy.
Was like Gollum showed up?
That's right.
Yes.
Gollum showed up because he used the ring as a sling ring. My precious.
My precious.
All right.
Kyber crystal.
Yeah, I think Andor though has gotten away from the stylized looks that I really enjoyed in the first series to just kind of doing standard Star Wars looks in the second season, which I kind of enjoyed from the first one, but they're just, it seems now they're just on the race to the end because it is just
so they're gonna drop 3 episodes each week.
Wow.
And each one is gonna take place over a this took place in BBY4. So before the battle, so 4 years before Rogue One. And each one is gonna take each of the 3 batches. Each 3 batch episode drop is gonna be 1 year closer to Rogue One. So yeah, I can't wait to rewatch Rogue One when all this is done and just like let's see if the trip the trip was worth it.
There's one thing in the first 3 episodes I really appreciate, and that is when Cassian is in a TIE fighter. They give you the kind of idea of how much space is in a TIE fighter. And when you're in space and there's no Star Destroyer or anything close, like you're in such a compacted area. It looked like 2 porta potties. Like that's as much room as you have in those ships, and you're in space.
On the radio, like I've been upside down for 2 days. What is upside down in space, right? What does upside down mean in space?
Yeah, exactly. But I just love that there was a claustrophobic nature to those shots that really got to me. I really enjoyed.
All right, Jeff, you will forget all this segment. Clay, let's go on to your list. Because there's I'm excited to hear what you think about this this next
studio one.
Yes, sir.
I absolutely love this show. Like this is so much fun. The Studio is a show on Apple with Seth Rogen, Ike Barinholtz, Catherine Hahn. Who am I forgetting?
I think those are what's her name from Schitt's Creek, the mom.
Oh, Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the story of the Studio is Seth Rogen is promoted to run the studio, this imaginary studio that exists in Hollywood after his mentor has been fired. And so it's kind of a conflicted feeling because he really enjoyed the producer he was learning under, but now he gets to kind of run the studio. And he's really good friends with Ike Barinholtz, who kind of wanted the job too, and also has like a cocaine problem.
Sure he does.
Yeah, but like so far in the show, it's like every movie that they're trying to make is just madness, and it's just so much fun. But the satire of it is getting so close to reality that this past week's episode was about them trying to do a Kool-Aid movie as a product tie-in for to sell Kool-Aid, but then also getting a movie from Martin Scorsese about Jonestown. And so they handle it beautifully, and it's hilarious. It is a great show. But then this week, a movie came out that was going to be about Jonestown for real that had Bill Hader associated with it. And they had to note in the article that this had nothing to do with the studio's version of a Kool-Aid movie or Jonestown movie that was going to be in it because their satire was so on this past week. What do you think of the Studio?
Oh, I love the show. Yeah, when that came out, it's really funny too because when that episode came out, that same week, like the studio announced that they were greenlighting some like stupid property. Like it was like there's no way that this article dropped the same week as the studio, because it was something that's not even a movie. I don't remember what it was. It was so dumb, but it's like, yeah, it's kind of like, you know, I think also the Minecraft movie came out that week or whatever. So like, it's all these things that obviously Seth Rogen wants to have. It's supposed to be like a, what do they call it? It's like a studio that's been around for a long time. So
Yeah.
A legacy studio.
Legacy studio. Thank you.
I forget Bryan Cranston shows up too.
In his best Stanley role.
Oh my god, he's so wild in this. I love seeing him show up. He's insane.
But I love the satire. How many episodes have you seen, Clay?
I'm current.
Oh, okay. So you watched the one all this week as well with the doctors?
No.
Oh yeah. There's more. So
Okay.
there is one episode where they shoot it all in one take.
Yes.
That's
they do a lot of one takes.
They do a lot of
Oneers.
like long shots, and I think the other thing I really am enjoying is like all the fake movies that they're making, like Ron Howard. Like the cameos are great because you get like real people playing an augmented version of themselves. Like Olivia Wilde is in one of the episodes, and she turns out to be kind of like this cartoony villain, just riffing on like maybe some of the you know, the fallout from her last movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Ron Howard shows up in one of them trying to make a movie with Anthony Mackie. So yeah, it's just great because they are just this is probably Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg and all those people putting out like all their experiences that they've been through just working in Hollywood for so long.
Yeah. But they also mine Hollywood for great stories.
Yeah.
Because like the what's the guy that used to run Miramax that's in jail? Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
Harvey Weinstein bought films to kill them because they were seen as direct competition, where he seems like an asshole like in that, but they give it to the Seth Rogen character in which he accidentally buys a script and has to kill it. And it crushes him. So they turn it into comedy. So they are paying tribute to a lot of old Hollywood stuff. The Oneers are, I think, a tribute to Robert Altman from The Player, because The Player was a studio film that came out in '92, and it opens with a long one take. And so you see them do that a lot in the show, and it's like, especially when they get to the episode that's about the Oneer. So they're shooting an episode that has a long one take that is about filming an episode that is doing a one take.
Right.
Or a Oneer. So it's just like one long camera shot that you kind of get lost in. So when you watch it, it's worth watching to see those. But I think unless you really like, I wouldn't say study film but more aware of camera shots, you see how long it takes before there's a break. Yeah. But Robert Altman opened The Player with a long take like that, and they just keep playing it up in the show, and they're really good at it. They're really fucking good.
Fun cameos all over, including Marty Scorsese. So
chef's kiss. What they get him to do in this is so good. And every week I keep coming back for Catherine Hahn. She's so good in this. She gets it. Like, her character is so great in like breaking down like what her job is. And she's just like, if I have to go out and promote this bullshit.
Yeah, because she's like the head of marketing of the studio. So
yeah,
it's fun stuff. But definitely recommend if you have Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, it definitely shows how like a film is made by committee.
Yeah. So okay. Let's see. Jeff, what have you been watching? And then we'll come back to your other thing, Clay. I'll slip it in before comics.
I finished MythicQuest, and I watched some of SideQuest. SideQuest is a really interesting little side project for MythicQuest. It feels like they were. This is what's cool. I think is cool about SideQuest. Although I've done zero research on this, but my head canon is like they had all the staff writers for MythicQuest, and they were like, pitch us your best story that is kind of like one of those outside of standalone episodes, and we'll just film them in this whole other. And it feels like a project where you got to. They basically gave a lot of people like their first shot at directing and or writing and stuff to give them put on their resumes and stuff. And it's all about these little one-shot stories that revolve around MythicQuest. Some of it has nothing to do with the actual company or any of the main characters. One episode is this bottle episode that takes place in a comic book store based around the comic book that comes out about MythicQuest.
Yeah,
and it's just all the comic book. And it feels like whoever wrote that episode, whoever directed that episode was definitely a Spike Lee, Kevin Smith fan kind of thing, because you can see the influences in different pieces. So it's a cool little anthology series, I think, for maybe if you're interested in perhaps people that might be up and coming writers or directors in the television world, whatever that means now. So it was really cool. I hadn't watched every episode because it's not one big story. They're all like little individual stories. So I saw like 4 or 5
you
of
can
them.
skip around. Yeah.
And MythicQuest ends it's kind of an okay ending. It feels like they didn't know necessarily that they were ending. This whole last season is a little up and down, I feel.
I watched the original ending before they got canceled, and then I rewatched it. So they really just kind of changed the end. Like really the last scene is what they changed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a little more satisfied with that ending because I didn't know where they were going to the next season, and maybe that's why they got canceled because they feels like they ran out of the ideas with 2 other characters. They pushed them in such a direction that maybe it got kind of hard to bring back the story and put them together. So, but I like the show overall. I think it's a lot. It's got some really great standout episodes, especially those flashback or those out of sequence episodes are just
those were really great.
And that COVID episode is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
quarantine COVID episode. I also finished all of the first season of the reboot of Saved by the Bell. I watched this like a while ago. There's only 2 seasons of it because they ended up canceling it. It is very good. It's got like an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. I want to say when I first started watching this a while back, I found out that it was maybe produced by some of the 30 Rock people or written by some of the 30 Rock people.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it has that kind of sharp spin on a dime weirdness that 30 Rock does, but they're also trying to bridge the gap between that old absolute ridiculousness of the old Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
It's funny because all the new actors, all the new players are better actors than the original cast, I feel. So it's kind of these 2 different weird styles. Mario Lopez and I forget who the other are, the 2 main people from the first cast. Mario Lopez is fine. He's
Elizabeth Hurley's in it, right? Too?
It's Elizabeth Hurley. Yeah, Elizabeth Hurley. But she's not a great actor. And everybody's just kind of
like... you like Showgirls?
I mean, it's the best thing she's ever done.
She was also in that really good episode of Law and Order.
That one. They do a lot of callbacks to the early show, the only thing they break the 4th wall a lot, which bugs me. I don't think you need to do that. But they do talk a lot about
that.
Yeah, but I feel like it's more like they did it with Zach Morris, who's more of a Bugs Bunny character, and I feel like he can get away with it. Whereas they do it with like this new main character, who's more serious, I guess, more bended in reality, so it doesn't make as much sense to me. It kind of takes me out of the show when they do that. So, but I recommend it to anybody who likes comedy. I really enjoyed it.
I think I watched a few of the first. Yeah, I watched a few of the first season, and I think overall I enjoyed it. The only thing is that you can definitely tell it's geared towards like a younger audience. Like it's not.
It's very TJF vibey.
Yeah,
if you remember what TJF is, but it has that kind of like early Disney kind of. I mean, it's a teen show.
And I like my sitcoms either really funny or really bad. I don't like anything middle of the road.
I am not Mr. Middle of America.
That's right.
I also finished Matlock. I finished the first season of Matlock. What a twist at the end. Right. Man, that thing just kept you hanging on to the end. You were like, oh, he's in the clear. He's in the clear. Wait a second. At the very end, it turns out Mr. Jason Ritter, not a good,
Not the fun guy we learned to.
not the fun guy that does the dances on TikTok. No, sir.
Mm-mm.
He did some bad things.
It's such a good show. Obviously, a lot of it just driven by Kathy Bates being awesome, but like the cast around her, like they have to keep up, and I think for the most part they do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they really are good. Like there was a lot of Olivia, Maddie, like towards the last, especially towards the end. And it was just like I don't know what you're gonna do with, like I don't know how you're gonna get out of this, but
right.
Not off overall. I think they, and I'm excited to see what the next season is gonna be about, because obviously there's more complications
Right.
that are coming up. So we're not fully in the clear, although I think we have a pretty good basis for the team now, or whatever. Like they're on better ground than before.
Yeah. Well, especially between Maddie and like, what's her name?
Yeah, Olivia.
Olivia. Yeah.
Olympia.
There's also this kid, the actress that played Madison in She-Hulk, was also in an episode of.
Oh yeah.
She played the spa person or whatever.
Oh, that's right. Oh my goodness, that was her. Madison, not how you, but it's not spelled how you think.
Yeah, it's not where you with a Y, but it's not where you think it is.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's
all right. That's all you watch?
That's all I watched. I watched some Dropout stuff from. I don't know if you guys ever watched Dropout, the streaming show that used to be College Humor.
No, I don't think so. Maybe Clay has seen some. We'll give him a second to. You like Dropout stuff, Clay?
You ever seen any of the Dropout stuff? It's a streaming service that is. It used to be the old College Humor people, but now they have their own Dropout service, and they do a bunch of game shows and stuff mostly.
I think I've looked at it, but I haven't seen anything that really caught my eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. Before we get into comics, Clay, you want to tell us about this last thing you have on the notes? Because up until the last word, I was like, I don't know what the last word brings to the table.
So I found an online group that is playing Marvel Heroes, and it's Phaser Rip, the original Marvel game from the 80s that TSR put out, because the game system is based on percentages. Okay. So that's really the description of the type of role-playing game it is, because Phaser Rip is fighting, agility, strength, endurance, like, all your stats. And the way that Marvel Heroes does them is it ranks them like, good, excellent, all the way to like monstrous. And so it has like these cool, like comic book labels to them.
Right.
And so I found a group of guys who were putting a team together. So I get to play a mutant version of Moon Knight. And we played our first round last night on Roll20, and I defeated Sabretooth. So,
ooh,
boom.
Hey, the numbers don't lie. Moon Knight can defeat Sabretooth.
Yeah, but, it's not like those powers ever. It's not like those powers or levels ever change in the books.
Yeah, exactly. But have you guys ever played any of the Marvel RPG stuff?
No, not the RPG, not Marvel stuff. The closest I played is the Alien, but that's just owned by the same conglomerate now.
Yeah. Owned by the same thing that everybody else owns everything. Yeah. I just wanted to bring up that like there are still some Marvel games, not only just from the old version, but the new Marvel RPG that's I think Jim Zub has been writing a lot of bits for it and stuff, that they've been putting out more and more stuff. So I kind of wanted to play that, but ended up finding this, and it's just been fun because it's just a group of guys who just kind of want to either play their own heroes, or there's another guy who's playing like the classic Ben Grimm thing,
What's the coolest superhero name of any original superhero that somebody might have come up with?
God, I don't know. I mean, we have like such a weird group.
Does it integrate well with Roll20? Like, is there a lot of extra stuff that had to be set up? You know?
I mean, he had tokens for us. He had a map layout. He's got it all incorporated into Discord. So, like last night, we encountered the Masters of Evil, but it was like a hybrid version of it. So it had Blizzard, Mauler, Sabretooth. You know, it's just this kind of weird group that we get to fight. I'm not sure if he's adapting an old story or writing a new one, but the guy who's running the DM basically kind of was like, I kind of want to have like a mutant team for this storyline. So just make sure your team, your character's a mutant. So I just made Moon Knight into Jamie Madrox.
Yeah.
So that but it's more of a tortured version of Khonshu, because anytime he would make copies of himself, Khonshu would get into that copy's head and tell him that he was the original one. So when he makes copies, he could only make a copy of Jake because Jake thinks he's the original personality, or Steven because he thinks he's the original personality. Yeah. And so like he takes the divisive personalities and they actually become two more people. So he's able to multiply himself into multiple Moon Knights.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do you have a you need a Moon Knight catchphrase though, I feel like.
It's Moon
time. This. It's Moonin' time.
It's Moonin' time. Yeah, because it's Clobbering Time got yelled, so I had to do It's Mooning Time.
Yeah.
As a copy of it. Makes sense.
Yes, exactly. But
nice.
Yeah, but I just wanted to bring that up because I didn't know how many people were role playing any superhero stuff.
Yeah, no, not doing any RPGs right now.
Back when I worked at the comic shop, there was a group that came in on Sundays that played the new Marvel RPG, and it was always fun listening to them like play what they were trying to do. They were playing an X-Men version of it mostly.
Oh, okay. Jeff would make little snide comments. These nerds.
Yeah, like Colossus would never do that.
I would never.
You don't even know how to use Wolverine.
That's right.
Gosh. Well, that's a good segue into comic books. So let's Jeff, why don't you kick us off and I'll follow your lead, and then whatever you don't talk about, I'll talk about, and then we'll do our comic review and then maybe get out of here.
Sweet. I don't know.
Close here.
I just finished this right before the podcast. This was the newest issue of Bug Wars. This is a great comic. It did make me question. Is anybody else reading this?
I read the first two, and I am picking it up.
Yeah, and so
it was pre-boarded at Titan, so I'm guessing there's some nudity in it.
There's definitely some nudity in this. I'm questioning whether I would have sex with a bug person. The answer is probably no.
But most likely yes.
But who knows? When in Rome, you know.
When in the bug.
Let's see those bug tits first.
When in the backyard. The precept Clay is that this family moves to a home that they inherited, I guess, out in Georgia somewhere, or Alabama, I don't remember where. Anyway, the younger kid gets shrunk down a la Honey, I Shrunk the Kid style and is stuck in the backyard. But the backyard is just like this barbarian like fantasy landscape where there are beetle barbarians and ant queens and like
spiders.
We reviewed this book, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah. You read the first one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we get the sexy bug women in this one. So this book blew me, no pun intended, blew me away this week. This is my pick of the week if we're gonna do that kind of thing. Martian Manhunter #2. Trigger warning to anybody that's been in a mass shooting event. But that's what happens here. But the way that they're playing with the Martian Manhunter powers and like that whole origin story, and it's really sci-fi heavy. I just love this book, man. And then the artwork by Javier Rodriguez is
wow,
beautiful. God, bless. This book is amazing.
It's wild. It's wild. Dennis Camp has 3 of my favorite books out right now, and they're all at different publishers.
Yeah. Here we go. One World Under Doom. This would have been my favorite book, mostly because there's the revelation that Dr. Doom is not doing anything to convince the world that he should take charge. He's not hypnotizing people. Nobody's been replaced by a Doom bot. He was just simply like, let me do it. And all the world leaders were like, okay. He's like, you want money? I'll give you money. You want a horse? I'll give you a horse. They all got bought off. They all got bought off by Doom. And then there's one where Scarlet Witch is like, we did this to ourselves. And it feels like it's an allegory for, I don't know, something that's happening in real life. I don't know what.
Are we the bad guys thing? Like,
is this story about us? Is this story about us?
That's right.
The newest Absolute Wonder Woman, awesome artwork by Illa Delouis. I can't remember how to say the name.
Yeah. Mattia
De Iluis.
It's from the same artist that did the Call.
The same artist that did the Call did the last 2.
I love the Cull art.
Yeah, that's why I knew you were a fan. It's somewhere here.
I don't know if I totally got what happened in the book, but love the artwork. She swallowed a seed or something. I don't know. Yeah, there it is. The newest issue of Exceptional X-Men. This is my favorite X-Men book. There's a moment in here. So we've got new mutants that are being trained by Kitty and Emma. They have the kids realize there's something wrong. They are trying to get a hold of Kitty. They can't get a hold of Kitty. They try to get a hold of Emma. I'm trying to find the page real quick. But they don't have Emma's phone number. So they were like, just think Emma thoughts. And there's this one panel right in here where you see their faces scrunched, where they're just trying to call out to Emma. I think it's funny. I love it when they do stupid stuff like that.
Yeah.
The newest issue of Superman, Superman 25. Big things happen in this issue. We get a Bizarro Lex Luthor. That's cool. Oh, you got a foil.
I'm blinded.
It's a 25. It's a number 25, so you know it's going to be worth millions in the end.
That's right. That's how you're going to go to college. It's the college fund. This is the newest issue of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that I missed because of shipping delays last week. Poor Donnie.
Oh my God, my boy's going through the ringer.
He is. This is the newest issue of the Avengers. I like it so this is a One World Under Doom tie-in, and this is where Jed McKay shines when he's writing his Avengers, is when he's like roped into these crossover events, because I feel like his whole Avengers run has been tarnished by the fact that he started off with Kang because of the MCU stuff, and then the MCU had to pivot away from Kang, and so he had to pivot away from Kang, and the Avengers has been kind of an up and down hot mess ever since. But whenever he's like, I have to tell a bottle story, that's when it shines. And I'm excited to go into this.
Look at that. Look at the ad for the upcoming Death of Silver Surfer. Woo! I'm excited. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, they're also doing a Thor, Death of Thor.
Who? Sumit Kumar. Oh no, DK Ron is the cover artist, so it must be DK Ron. But this is gonna be written by a local boy, Greg Pak.
Oh.
Hey.
I mean, he lives in New York right now, but he's a local boy.
He's from the hometown. The newest G.I. Joe, still going strong. That's Duke right. Might be crazy. Duke is insane in this comic.
I haven't read the newest one, but I did pick up this cool variant, and it's don't worry, there's no nudity in this one. It's only bags on board because it's a 1 in 10 variant. Well, I don't know that there's no nudity. I guess I haven't read it.
You haven't seen the comic yet. You get to see a lot of.
I haven't seen the Cobra yet. Yeah,
I haven't seen Cobra Commander's
frontal
Cobra.
Joe.
Full frontal Joe.
And then we get the newest issue of the Justice League, where we're explaining a little bit more about the crossover that is happening. It's kind of a slow rollout for a crossover event.
I like that we get like what the hell's going on with Airwave.
Yeah. As do I. And I like this Gorilla Grodd's the bad guy.
Yeah. Mark.
That's everything I have read this week. My stack of unread stuff is on the other side of the room that I cannot reach it.
Continues to forever grow. All right. Well, let me see. Obviously, somebody's got to read Batman Hush too. And I've chosen myself as tribute.
I'm halfway through it. It's on the other side of the unread pile. With the
It's all
unread
right.
books.
I think it's okay overall.
Not
I do like
interested.
that Jim Lee's doing some other stuff with his art. Like he's doing not just like for the flashbacks, he's doing something a little bit different. And then
I
yeah,
got to the point. There's one point in this book where I was almost through the book because I was just like, no, And it's when Batman picks up the thing, he picks up a gun and he shoots it at Jason Todd, and I'm like, what are you thinking, Jeff Loeb? What on earth are you thinking about writing or Jim Lee drawing this? And if I'm in my head, I'm rationalizing because it's Batman. He knows Jason Todd's not going to wear a helmet that can take a bullet. But I'm like, it's Batman holding a gun, pointing it at Jason Todd. Like that's egregious.
Yeah, maybe he thought there was rubber bullets in there. I don't know.
I don't know. Absolutely,
it was Jason who brought the gun, so maybe it's a little.
That's true.
Let me see. These three I did read, and this two. Okay, so I also read Predator Spider-Man #1. If you like the second Predator movie, I think you're gonna enjoy this because it's just as gory, and it's just as sweaty. This takes place in New York in the summer, in the middle of a heat wave. And here, let me just show you. Hopefully, we shouldn't get kicked out for this, but that's somebody just fully split open in this panel here. So, yeah.
Is this a Red Band book?
Not this one. I mean, no, I didn't know that I did not buy a Red Band edition, but it might as well be. It's a 20th century book, so like that tells you that it's and it's also written by Benjamin Percy, so like you know what you're getting into. Don't mess around.
I dig him.
Yeah, Benjamin Percy's. He's doing the Predator Kills the Marvel Universe thing that they announced earlier this week. So I think after Spider-Man, that's gonna be the last one probably for a while.
And you said if you like Predator 2, you'll like this one. I was really hoping there'd be Danny Glover in it.
It's a lot of dancing predators in their ship.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I'm still reading Amazing Spider-Man. I wish Josh was here because he said he was gonna read it. I like it, and it's a lot. It definitely has a lot to do with Pepe Larraz. But then, did you read this one, Jeff, or just the first one?
I'm not reading Spider-Man. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying into your fake news.
I gotta add, and sorry, this is gonna be a spoiler, but you're not reading the book anyway, so what do you care? They bring back a character that I had to Google. It is Itsy Bitsy, and apparently this is the daughter of Deadpool and Spider-Man. So it's like a person that they imbued with both of their genes. I don't know if she's from a different universe. I don't know anything about this character other than what the Google headline said. But she's the villain of the first arc. And I was like, all right. Well, I guess why not? So I don't know. Like I said, I'm enjoying it. It's dumb, but it's not like bad like the Paul stuff was. Sorry to Zeb Wells. I like some of his other work, but that was not for me. But the last book, and maybe, I'm conflicted because I also really enjoyed Absolute Martian Manhunter. But if you want to read a really sad book, if you're feeling cheery, if Dennis Camp hasn't messed you up enough, this Assorted Crisis of Events, this anthology, it's like, man, it's so intense. These oversized books, there's dinosaurs in it though, so that's kind of cool. Man, oh man, it is wild stuff. And then just some quick things that I pick up, and then we'll move on to our review to close out the show. Magic, I just picked up this nice design cover. I am behind on Magic though. The latest episode
some great covers.
Yeah, the latest installment of Epithets from the Abyss, which I think now you can also buy the first collection in case you missed it. But yeah, I love this book so much. This one, who does this one have? Jeremy Lambert, Kurt Pyers, and Jeff Jensen do a story each of them. So I can't wait to read that. The latest issue of X-Men, which every time I get to the shop, I consider maybe dropping the book because I'm so behind.
I dropped it. I'm done.
Oh, I need to get to a good stopping point.
It's the only X-Men book that I get.
Really? I just man, I like
Well,
both.
no, wait a minute. That's Gail Simone. Is that Uncanny?
No, this is regular
No.
X-Men. This is
Oh,
the
Jen
okay.
McKay.
I'm just reading Uncanny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm still reading.
That one I hear. That one's pretty good. From
Yeah.
what I've read too. I'm behind on all the X-Men stuff. It's just not grabbing my attention. And then the last thing I picked up this Absolute Batman #1 reprint.
Foil.
I know. I gotta get a
Where the
better-
shine.
So, there you have it. Clay,
What is the top of your pile right now of of the books you pull weekly? What is the thing that you read the first minute you get home?
Interesting. I'm trying to think. I think Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimates is very high on my list. Like when I get to that now, those take a while because I gotta wait till Wednesday for them to actually come out so I can read them. When I'm looking at the comps that we get from Image and DC, any absolute title, just I'm enjoying them all. But I think Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter and Batman are at the top of the list, and then like right below that, Superman and Green Lantern and Flash. But yeah, the absolute stuff and the ultimate stuff just really, it has so much freedom to do whatever it wants to do because it's a new universe.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to indie books, I'm trying to think, what was the? Oh man, it's a real pickle there. That's a good question, Clay. That might be a whole show. I mean, I think Transformers usually high at the top of my list as well. So yeah.
What was the question? I missed it.
Oh, just what's at the top of your reading pile? Like when you get your stuff, new stuff. Clay, I'll give you some time to think, Jeff, when you answer that. Did you end up reading the Moonshine Bigfoot thing we talked about last week?
No, I didn't get a chance.
Okay, I just wanted to check. You should read it though. It's. I think you'll like it, Jeff. I'm sure you can agree.
Yes. Oh yeah, I definitely think you'll like it.
So now
I'll check it out.
I
don't know if it
you'll
actually
like
came out
it.
this week though. I think it did, but I don't know if
Yeah,
it did or not.
It did.
It did. All right,
Yeah.
because I didn't put out the video. I didn't put out the little segment because I wasn't sure. And I didn't see it at my shop, but maybe they were sold out. So, but Jeff, did you have a top of your pile answer?
I usually go by writers. So if Mark Waid, Kelly Thompson have a book, they're usually the top. So yeah, if a Wonder Woman is, it's Tom King.
Oh yeah.
So I have my favorites. I have a system. So I get my comics home. I split them into Marvel pile, DC pile, indie pile, and then I do put them in order in which I want to read, and then each pile and then I put them in one giant pile, and then I have to read the back end of the pile first. So I don't want to like I reverse weight them. So I get through the ones that I'm just like, and then the ones at the end, because then I'm like, because I'm buying so many comics week to week, and I'm trying to be like, why am I buying the ones that if they make me less excited? I'm already condoing myself every week. So I'm just like, is it just like I still enjoy these comics that are at the bottom of my pile? It's just that they're just at the bottom of the pile because somebody has to be at the bottom of the pile, or am I just not really excited about those? Mm-hmm. Sometimes things get cut. Sometimes things get. I'm gonna be honest. Epitaph is on the bubble, not because I don't enjoy it. I'm just like, it's an anthology book. It's not, I feel like
it's new every week, so it can't really build on what it was last week.
Yeah, exactly.
There
are 10 issues in, so I'm just like, I feel like, I've had my run of it. I'm good.
There are books like that I wish I could like send them in somewhere to trade them for like a trade instead, and just have instead of having like 10,000 floppies running around my house. So, all right, to close out the show, let's talk about we're going to do a comic review. We're going to talk about giant size wacky races. #1. This is a one shot from Dynamite. This is written by, let me see here, Written by Ivan Cohen, with art by Mariano Benitez, Chapo, colors by Nick Capone, letters by Jeff Eckleberry, who Eckleberry I think letters a lot of Dynamite stuff. And in this book, oh here, let me see if I can make this fit a little better. This book obviously based on the animated TV show from it only aired for 2 years, which is interesting, from 1968 to 1970 on CBS, which was inspired by the comedy The Great Race. The synopsis for this book is pretty long because they are telling you what Wacky Razors is first. They're telling you all about the creative team, like all their, like why you should care about them. But the main thing is this is a 40-page story. Thrill to all new adventures of Penelope Pitstop. This giant says one shot features three chapters that take you on a high octane adventure from writer Ivan Cohen. With a tough and beautiful Penelope, handsome and mysterious Peter Perfect, and of course, Dick Dastardly and a new look at Muttley. So let me show you guys some covers before we get into this. There are some pretty cool things. I mean, I feel like I guess I'll start because I feel like I need to say this. I wish this book had been about Dick Dastardly and Muttley. Because they are the only characters I remember from Wacky Razors. I don't know who Penelope is. I saw the caveman in one of the little panels, but other than that, I don't know who Peter Perfect is either. Like, I wish
this is the biggest "who is this for" question I had over my head while flipping. I started reading it, and then as I got about halfway through, a little past halfway through, I was just like, I'm flipping the rest of the way, because for a book called Wacky Racers, it's not super wacky. And I don't remember a lot of watching wacky races. Yeah. So I went back and pulled some up on YouTube because I was just like, well, what's, maybe if I jog my memory on what the cartoon is, and they're obviously very, very different. And that's when I started thinking of like, well, this is obviously the cartoon. You go back and watch the cartoon, it's obviously based on these old cross-country races that used to America used to be all about these things, these weird cars that would just make these cross-country races and about stuff. And I'm like, we don't do that anymore. They've kind of sort of tried to modernize it. They tried to turn it into this weird, they focus on Penelope Pitstop, who is sort of like a Hannah Montana kind of character. And they give everybody it's like weird dark reboot of Wacky Races. And I'm just like, why? Nobody even knows who these characters are anymore. Yeah. And I guess I'm like, I understand why you could get away with being like, we're giving this kind of like complete new backstory that's kind of grounded in reality, I guess, sort of, but they're not built like that. I don't know. I didn't get it.
No,
I appreciate the hard effort and work they put into it, though.
Yeah, Clay, what did you think of the book?
I just started to flip through it. I thought the art was nice, but then it just seemed to be a Penelope Pitstop book and not really a Racers book. So I kind of just started to flip through it at that point and was just, because it seemed really long, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's a one shot, so it's giving you a lot of content, but it just was like, there's a race at the beginning and a race at the end. And like, to me, the wacky,
the smallest part of a race too. It's like a 2-3 pages of a race. And I'm like, you have 40 pages here. As much as I want to like the main character, like, let me instead watch a full 5-6 pages of a race and don't spend 3-4 pages in a hospital or like whatever, or telling me how ad revenue works on YouTube.
It's not really. Oh gosh, I hate bashing on things, but
too.
it never goes in any. Again, it never goes in. It could have been very tongue-in-cheek satire.
Yeah,
and I know you can do that because DC did it with like the Flintstones and Snaggletooth or Snagglepuss, and so they rebooted those characters. They're completely different, and it's tongue-in-cheek still, but it's it's also like they do get into like some of the like with the Flintstones, some of the stuff like it's about post-traumatic war stuff and things like that. But it's still very, it's not lighthearted, but it's still, I don't know. This thing doesn't, they don't have fun with it at all. Like there's no.
Yeah, it should definitely be fun above all, you know. And I didn't get the vibe, you know, so that I just started flipping through it because I was like, well, the art's nice, but like I didn't want to commit to reading about like Penelope Pitstop, because to me this book seems like a perfect Gen X reboot. You know, like we would be the kids who saw it as you know, growing up, which I remember seeing this as a kid. You update it the way Adult Swim updated, you know, Space Ghost. Like you give it that kind of like cynical, edgy humor, and you still make it a racer's book. Like that's what I feel like that book should have been. I don't know what this is. I just
it could have been
I wouldn't buy it.
A little Talladega Nights, you know, where like the razors are
Exactly
wacky in a different way, or like I said, or just make it more about Dick Dastardly, like, you know, going through all this, or even show me how the cool car gets put together. The cool car gets blown up in at the beginning, and then we don't ever see it again until the end again. Then, you know, like, I also think it's really, I think there's a panel where Peter like chooses to sponsor Penelope, but not really sponsor, but sends her money, and it's only like $5,000. I'm like, what is that it? Like, is that all? That doesn't feel like a lot.
You just spent 3 pages telling me how expensive everything is going to be, and it's like, here's $5,000.
And then it goes in a direction at the end. I'm not going to spoil the end, but like where it's not even about the like Peter Perfect's goal is not even about the races, and it was like, is there more to this? And then I realized that it's a one shot, and I was like, oh, I guess it's not. I guess that's it. So
it feels like if we sell enough, then maybe we can flip it into a series or a mini or something like that. But I just don't. It didn't hook me. It doesn't. Yeah. There's nothing.
And see, they had tried to reboot it 10 years ago. I looked this up, and there was a Future Quest run of DC books where they did the Flintstones book back then. There was a Wacky Raceland book that was a post-apocalyptic take on the Wacky Racers cartoon. But the cool part of it is that the vehicle designs were from the guy who did the vehicle designs for Mad Max Fury Road. So cool. Take this and those vehicles and look, what if they were redesigned by a post-apocalyptic designer, and you know, you had that reboot, which seems way more interesting than this.
Yeah, and I although I think the art's pretty good here, I don't know that it fits the tone that I would have wanted for a book like this. Like, get somebody that does very stylized art, or like something that looks a little bit different, or somebody that can really make it look like the cartoons if that's what you want to do. But I don't think
definitely
they just got somebody that has a very good comic book house style that makes it look a little bit more like a superhero book, even though there's really no superhero shenanigans happening.
Yeah, just to recommend a different book that has like a lot of cars in it, Death and Glory by Rick Remender and Bingle.
Yeah.
Bingle does incredible car work and should definitely be at the top of anyone's list who's doing a car type book. I would love to see Bingle's work on something like this with a little redesign on the cars.
And Glory is a very well-rounded character that you can kind of get behind real quickly. Whereas Penelope, I felt like I was struggling to understand what she was trying to do, or like what her goal was, other than to become a racer. But she's got to take this side quest to fully become a racer. I
was also like, why is a former child star turned internet sensation having a hard time raising money for like? There's a lot that I just was like.
I mean, isn't that Frankie Muniz? I mean, former child star who turned into a racing. Doesn't he race cars?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe. I wonder if maybe that. I mean, maybe this is based on more realistic stuff than
we thought.
Maybe who's writing this? Maybe that's Frankie Muniz's pen name.
Maybe. All right. Well, to close this out, Jeff did find us a really wacky video. I think we'll see. I hope this is not. I hope this isn't a letdown, Jeff.
I feel like this encapsulates Wacky Races a little bit better than
Then
The
the
comic.
book? All right, let's check it
The
out.
book.
Let's check it out.
This is a car commercial I found.
Oh yeah, there was this guy. Oh, there's the guy from the book. That's Penelope.
Novo Peugeot 208. Dentro dele é outro mundo. Peugeot.
That was
There it
Portuguese.
is.
Oh, wow. That was cool.
That was I think that was Portuguese.
Oh yeah,
Was it?
Yeah, I think so. It sounded like Portuguese.
it's probably some car that cost $7,000.
Who knew
That was
Wacky
fun.
Racers were big overseas?
Yeah.
Who
So-
knew?
I needed more Dick Dastardly or any of the other characters, like the ones that have the bats, all the bats flying around.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
It's such a, because you go back and watch the cartoon. It's such a. I mean, there's not much of the cartoon either. It's just. But
no, it's just like they all find a way to blow themselves up every time, and
yeah, I mean, there was hardly any
and
of that in this. It's
Dick
just like a
Dastardly
weird-
never wins. That's all there is to it. And then this book opens with him winning the race. So,
This is part of that apocalypse universe.
well, there you have it. That's our show. And we don't like to rag on books, but I feel like sometimes we just got to tell you how we really feel about them.
Yeah.
I
'cause
wanna be
this would
honest.
Yeah.
This would be a book I would want to pick up based on the content, but like inside, like it just is kind of a bummer. It's just not
Right.
fun.
Right. Hopefully next week we do get to read Captain Planet.
Oh, I'm so excited
And
for that.
I'm very
The
excited
hype
for
on that is real.
Yeah, I'm very excited. We know David Pepos. He's a fantastic writer. So, okay. You guys have anything else? I know we've gone a little bit over now.
No, it's just good to be back.
Cool. Great to have you back. Great to have some chat about all this stuff. Keep watching Andor. Jeff, catch up on Andor.
I'm gonna catch up.
Yes, especially
You'll
those
never guess what's
the
coming.
prison episodes to me are the best episodes.
Guys, Anakin became Darth Vader.
What?
Sorry.
Spoiler, fuck.
I'm sorry. But yeah, if you don't have anything else to do and you can make it to the theater to watch Revenge of the Sith, you should. You should. So
Does he? At the end of the movie, does Obi-Wan have the high ground?
he does.
Okay.
And you never realize how meaningful that is.
Okay, now I really love the Obi-Wan series, which I felt did a better job of telling the story between episodes 2 and 3. So would you rather watch in the theater this or watch Obi-Wan again?
I'll tell you what I really wanted. I wanted this movie with the Clone War episode at the end, that intercut that shows you what Ahsoka is doing.
Oh, you want it all pieced together.
Yeah, I
from what
want it
we
all
have.
edited. I need one of you Star Wars nerds to put together a big edit of Revenge of the Sith with the Clone Wars episodes dropped in there, like the last 3 that are like their own little movie.
Yeah.
I think it's 3 or 4. That's what you Star Wars people should be doing instead of just like making all this noise about not liking anything of the new stuff. Be like Topher Grace and edit your own Star Wars movie.
Yes.
So, all right. There's my call to action to everyone. So,
make that happen. Leonard
right.
Kim, make that happen.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
The most important thing in life will always be
El Bebo.
Peter loves you.
Simon Sander, get the fuck out.